Thank you. Likewise, welcome. Thank you so much.
Etically,
Heavenly Father, I remember
Primitiva, que tá aí já, Give them a warm round of applause. Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Allow me to start off by introducing our learners who are going to do the welcome this morning. We call on Aisha Esop, Chelsea Stevens, and Kanya Debera. We give them a warm round of applause.
Good morning, honored guests. My name is Aisha Esop. I'm a senior prefect at Western Primary, and it is such a privilege to be here during this momentous occasion. I welcome all of you to our humble abode, our beacon of safety, our school. As guests, it's only fair that I welcome you appropriately by giving you a brief background on our school and our achievements. Don't worry, I'm not here to hijack the program. I'm sure many of you looked around as you entered the hall. Our school values are all placed around the hall as a constant reminder of what all of us need to be reminded of. This is what we as West Indians try our best to uphold for our school and the community. Our school has received many accolades in our time, and as a no-fee school, many honored guests like yourself and government officials are always surprised when they first arrive here. They find our school competing with many of the top schools in the Western Cape, both academically and socially. West End has also received Blue Block status, which signifies the heritage of the school and the contribution it has made to the community. Our principal, Mr. Iris, has previously been the Our principal, Mr. Iris, has previously been the runner-up with WCED School Manager of the Year. This was in recognition for his leadership at the school and mentoring of other principals. Anyway, I'm not here to boast. Instead, I'll let your first impressions speak for itself. Right on to the program. Nurture Network and Western Primary. Wow! That partnership sounds amazing, doesn't it? I think the biggest challenge in today's days and age is preparing us, the learners, for jobs that doesn't exist yet. The best way that school can do this is by supporting programs and initiatives similar to this. The pandemic has brought many difficulties and despair. However, one positive is that it forced us to adapt and incorporate technology more often in our lives. It has helped teachers to use it as a platform for communication during lockdown, a resource to teach at home and in the classrooms, and schools to become paperless. The benefits are never ending. Let's not forget to mention who wouldn't love to do TikToks with their favorite teachers, and even our principal, Mr. Aris. Once again, I am honored to be here at the launch of this program. Thank you.
Goedemorgen aan ons geëerde gasten. Mijn naam is Chelsea Stevens en ik wil elkeen hartelijk welkom bij ons school. Ik is een senior leerder hier bij Western Primair als schoolprefect en dit is oprecht voor mij een voorrecht om vanmorgen die gasten hiertoe te spreken. Zoals ons oude raad zo ontwikkeld en verbeter technologie en onze bijhou als onze eigen stoffen beraden. En zoals ons allemaal weet, is het nooit te laat om een oude iets te leren. Ons is zo opgewonden oor die inleiding van technologie in ons klaskamers. Nou dat ons skole gebruik en wie weet, TikTok ons hier ons lessen. Dit gaan nou ervaring wees waar alles wat ons ooit kon dink. Kyk, kom ons wees eerlik. Tegnologie maak dit alles makliker en ons moet gereed wees vir die nuwe tegnologiese era. Glo my, ek kan nie wag om te hoor dat die noutje netwerk span vir ons voorbereid. Hier eens hartelijk welkom en ons is so bly dat onze skool is wat u kan huisves. For those of you who don't understand, can you just look in the middle of the line? Ndiyazibulisela kwiindwendwe zethu nani botishana. Igama lami ndinguKhanya Dibene, ndingumongameli ophezulu webanga lesixhenxe unyaka ka-2021. Ndiziva ndonwabile kwaye ndinovuyo ukuba ndibe lapha namhlanje. Ndiyanamkela ngovuyo olukhulu. Kulo nyaka ophelileyo kuye kwakho uhlaselo lwesifo i-COVID-19. Sesona setho sibi kwimbali yoluntu. Eli xesha kuye kwanzima kuluntu lwethu luphela kwaye iintsapho ezininzi ziyahlupheka. Abantu bephulukana nemisebenzi yabo nabantwana kunzima ukufunda ngenxa yesi sifo. Le nkqubo ebizwa ngokuba yi-Nature Network idlala indima enkulu ebalulekileyo ekufundiseni isikolo sethu malunga notshintsho nezochwepheshe kwaye ifundisa ngezakhono ezixabisekileyo apho umntu enokufunda ngendlela entsha nephuculweyo. Ngenxa yoku kubalulekile ukuba sifunde ngezochwepheshe singabafundi. Siqhele ukuva malunga neziphumo ezibi zokujonga kakhulu esikrini kunye neengozi zemidiya yoluntu. Unqabile ukuva siva ngendlela zeteknoloji ezinokwazi ukwenza umahluko kubomi bethu, ngakumbi xa kufika ekufundeni. Xa isetyenziswa kakuhle, iteknoloji inganceda ekuphuculeni imfundo yethu njengabafundi. Iteknoloji inamandla kuba sisixhobo esinophucuka imfundo ngendlela ezininzi. Kuyasikhuthaza njengabafundi ukuba sifunde. Sijonge phambili ekubeni nexesha lethu kwizixhobo zethu zokubukela nokufunda izinto kwiiwebhusayithi, iividiyo, ii-app kunye nemidlalo. Singafunda kwaye sonwabe ngexeshana. Ndimele nditsho ukuba yonke into endiyivileyo malunga ne-Nature Network kunye noqoqosho lwayo luvakala luluhle kwaye liyancomeka. Namhlanje ubhiyozela ngayo yonke imizamo yakho kwaye ngenxa yoku ufanele uzingce. Kunjalo ndizukile ukuba ndibe lapha kwaye ndiyabuyisana nani nonke impumelelo yenu. Kufanelekile ukuba ube neqhayiya ngempumelelo yakho. West End sithi phambili ngeteknoloji.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's give them a warm round of applause. Wow. I feel obsolete. I don't think you need me here, and I don't think I can do a better job than what they are doing. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Lee Arons, your MC for this morning, and I will be leading you through today's proceedings. Let me start off by welcoming each and every one of you. We have distinguished guests, boys and girls. Our distinguished guests, let me start off with the Director of Metropole South, Mr. Granville Sander, the head of this institution, West End Primary School, none other than Mr. Clive Harris. The reason we're here this morning, the lady that made this possible, that came to us with this beautiful, lovely idea, Colleen Cosette, our chair lady of our governing body, West End Primary governing body, Faiza Hassan, and then to all the distinguished guests that I see over here, and sorry I cannot mention all of your names, but to you, each and every one of you, to our boys and girls representing the West End Primary, the learners, Very important that you are here. We welcome each and every one of you. All protocols observed. Before we head on into the program, I just want to share a few buzzwords with you so that you can digest it, assimilate it, and maybe just hang in the air and we see what will happen. The buzzwords we came up with is AI, artificial intelligence, the fourth industrial revolution, the matrix, avatars, clones, simulated theory or simulation theory, based reality, cultured meat, atoms, which is computerized atoms, and golems, which is entities without a spirit. I'm going to leave it there, digest it, assimilate it, or whatever you want to do. But I'm going to introduce the first guest speaker, the head of this institution. We put our hands together for none other than Mr. Clive Ali.
Thank you, Mr. Alex. Good morning all, and a warm welcome to Western Primary School. I can promise you, and Colin can attest to that my learners' welcoming notes was not prepared myself, or I don't know, but I'm sure the teachers have helped them along the way. And I think they've done just an amazing job. Every time they give me the reason to know why I am here at a place where I am. And that amazing choir, there's supposed to be 60 learners. There are few today because of reasons we know to us. But please, just accolade them one more time. I think they did well. It's indeed a pleasure to have all the digital transformation agents of Metro South and all the dignitaries attending our launch. But I am also very worried about it, because if something happens here, something disastrous, when all these digital agents are here, there's nobody going to be left in Metro South to take it further. I'm just joking about it. A special welcome to you, Mr. Stender. Thank you, sir, for encouraging and supporting all the schools across Metro South in aligning information technology with education. I have not seen Ms. Peterson here. I'm sure she's on her way. But in her absence, I want to acknowledge her because I've noticed she was one of the invitees. Our teachers actually wants to know when she's coming back, because we just fell in love with her inspirational leadership messages, supportive nature, just the way how she can relate to us as teachers, and support us and advise us. We really just want to tell her thank you very much. And we're looking forward to the next engagement. Please carry over the message if you do need her, if she does not, unable to come here later. Thank you for availing yourselves to the launch of Western Primary School Nurture Network Partnership today. A special welcome to your colleague, founder of Nurture Network, will also be addressing us later today. Colin Collins was a product of Western Primary School, and he knows about what to tell you. Give us our applause. And just to prove you If you was a learner here, I printed the grade 7 results for you to come and verify. We will introduce a formally later. I want to acknowledge my school governing body, not only the chairperson, but I have seen Ms. Grimm here as well. Where is she? There she is. Okay. Always present, always, as she's part of the reason why Mr. Lemmer is here. Thank you, Ms. Grimm, today. I also want to say welcome. I see my SMT members are here present. Thank you very much, colleagues, for making their way here. We are so fortunate. West End has got 38 teacher assistants. And I want you to do the maths quickly. Some of them get 3,000 a month, some of them get 3.5, some of them get 4,200, depending on which NGO are paid them. If I go an average of 3,000 a month for 38 people, it's at least 120,000 a month. The NGOs want to come and invest into West End Primary, because when the interns leave our school, they leave as markers, they leave as scribes, they leave with skills and attitudes that make them competitive. Or they can go and further their studies without them to apply for bursaries. In fact, 2 of them have been appointed by the Metropole South Education District. And I'm sure more of those appointees will follow. Thank you very much. And also my grade 7 learners are always so quiet. I'm sorry that I see you sit so far today. I promise you next time you can just sit right in front. Is that okay with you? Yes. Okay, great stuff. And then I hijacked somebody, one of our business partners, representative, Mr. Terry. He's from National Tigerberg. You know, we've been walking a long way. I've seen you here. You were not even on the program, but I think you should be here, and I am sure your CEO will understand your presence here today. Thank you very much for having time and being here. Colleagues, let me start. I think the question today that we must be asking is what is West End Primary School's digital transformation all about? Just share that with me quickly.
Once upon a time, business as usual was often good enough. No more. Where we are going, good enough is dead. In a world where everything is connected, where everything is equally excellent, where performance is reaching perfection, there's only one space left to innovate in: you. Right now, you are a central point in the raging tornado of change fueled by digitization, mobilization, augmentation, disintermediation, automation. Well, the list goes on. Science fiction is becoming science fact. Think about self-driving cars and computers that can learn and think. The way we work will never be the same. The skills we need will be dramatically different. Winning or losing are now happening faster than ever before. So what's your response? How will you discover new opportunities in one of the most transformational times in human history? Are you driving change, or are you being driven by it? Disruption has become the new normal. With change, it's always gradually, then suddenly, well, things really have stopped happening gradually. This change is exponential. Everything that used to be dumb and disconnected is now wired and intelligent. Cars, cities, ports, farms, even our bodies will be wired with sensors and will talk to each other. These game changers are also combinatorial. They amplify each other, creating a perfect storm of change. Quantum computing fuels big data. The Internet of Things fuels artificial intelligence and deep learning, which fuels robotics. However, anything that cannot be digitized or automated will become extremely valuable. Human-only traits such as creativity, imagination, intuition, emotion, and ethics will be even more important in the future, because machines are very good at simulating, but not at being. Yes, robots and software will do some of our work, but this will allow us to focus on things that cannot be automated. To imagine change squared, you've got to start engaging more with what might be, not just with what is. Immerse yourself in the immediate future, 5 to 7 years out from today. We need to go beyond technology and data to reach human insights and wisdom. Technology represents the how of change, but humans represent the why. The future is about a holistic business model. The opportunity is to be liquid, to learn just in time, not just in case, not single improvements, but complete transformations, not individual systems, but new ecosystems. Humanity is where true and lasting value is created. We will engage, rate, and buy things because of the experiences they provide, because of their transformative power. The future doesn't just happen. The future gets happened. The new way to work is to embrace technology, but not to become it. The future is in technology, yet the bigger future lies in transcending it. Let's live and lead from here.
Thank you very much. The COVID-19 pandemic has required all of us to reflect and rebuild our lives, especially we as teachers. People already wrapped their minds around new technologies and how the digital world works, and therefore the minds of it have to take place, should be amongst us as adults. I've just learned that my learners wanted to do TikTok movies with me. Okay, I can consider that. Isn't it true that children nowadays are born with a smartphone in their hand? Not just with a phone, with a smartphone in their hand. Digital stuff becomes just second nature to them. How do you teach these learners computer literacy things and going around? I know a study in India has shown you buy a computer or a game, you put it somewhere in a corner where they've got free access to it, and they learn themselves. There's nothing, there's no model for us to go and teach. What we possibly will have to focus on are things like cyberbullying, social platform evils, in the fostering of digital values. When Mrs. Spain High School launched a free online teaching program, Mrs. Faudila Chopia said that children are digital natives and we are digital immigrants. I don't think you can put it any clearer than that. So Western Primary's digital transformation started in 2013. The educated teachers and support staff were identified strategic objectives for us that we will be focusing at a time for the next 3 years, which was going to be reviewed every 3 years. A 9-point plan was identified. One of them was the use of information technology to improve the school's operations and to become more effective and especially more efficient. We effectively started to digitalize our school's administrative processes. Emails using smartphones. At the time it was still a new thing. Creating the westernps.co.za email domain. All the teachers and support staff members, governing body members, using the same, so you can't even forget the email address. It's the initial and surname of the person. We discontinued Telkom text line and create the free to email service at no cost to the school. And in doing so, we took the fax machine and threw it in the bin. Discontinued the Telkom line that cost us at the time 2,000 rand a month. So we were saving also. On the 18th of March 2015, our digital evolution continued when we reviewed our strategic objectives. So we continue to pursue the quest in using software applications to improve administrative processes. But our quest was not without setbacks and failures. Many times we feel we were isolated. In fact, we were sometimes branded net qualities. D6 Communicator, you are acquainted with that program for schools? At the time we had 1,200 learners. After so many efforts, only 13 people from our parents, from 1,200 learners, subscribed. It was pointless to run the program, that software, it would have cost us 5,000 a year. So we were there. It's a big setback. It was only during the strategic review meeting the next 3 years, 2018, that this governing body decided that let's prioritize information technology and a special budget. Raise funds and budget for what we want, for digital transformation wishes. We consequently did the following: purchasing laptops for teachers to use, and it was phasing, so that every year we buy 10 to 15 laptops. So we need 10 to 15 laptops every year, and we knew so that everybody will have a laptop, the tools. Self-training, we self-training our teachers to become computer literate. And at the time, we were still sitting with the majority of our teachers, elderly staff, which in fact was not even a problem. I've seen Mrs. Miller there earlier. Where is she? There she is. She's a prime example of a person that's almost reaching retirement age, but she is leading the digital transformation space in the great. And I want you to give her a round of applause. We arrange computer literacy training for our support staff and for the staff here of our neighboring schools. Here at our school. Is Mr. Raymond here? I think the chairperson is here because you remember chairperson, you were part of the training. Some of you can still remember Lindsay, who was a facilitator, accredited facilitator. The certificate that you received speaks something. It put it on your CV. Support staff. We started with them. We are allowing our notepads that was donated by Vodacom to be used by Mr. and I wrote here Mr. IQMS because I was trying to think what's Mr. Winters' name now again. To come here to our school, and whoever needs to be trained on the SACE website to do the registration process, they've done it here from our school. We invested in data projectors and whiteboards, knowingly that interactive whiteboards might become a white elephant. It's costly, not everybody knows how to use it. And we knew we were only going to invest in it once we have acquired the necessary skills from our teachers to use that resources optimally. It was a cheaper option to make sure each of my children in my class has got a TV and a whiteboard and a data projector, and there's a laptop for the teacher to do better quality lessons. We established a computer room with the assistance of WCED. I see the gentlemen here that will always phone, help us out. Thank you for an amazing job, the support that you are giving to us to help this and advice. We partnership with broad-minded students. There's on the computer, those are all students at UWC, UCT, and they decided they come from poor, disadvantaged economic backgrounds, and they've seen themselves going through passing good at school, enrolled admitted to university, and sit there competing with other students that they have never ever sat in front of a computer. And they realized they wanted to give back. And they approached Western Prime, and I'm not sure how they select us, because we don't know them at all. And Saturday mornings, they are coming to present free computer training to grade 7 learners. And then they raise funds to renovate the room, tiled it, painted. They raise funds to feed those learners a decent snack. So it is NGOs like that that make it worthwhile to pursue this digital transformation. We, at that time, also starting WhatsApp groups for teachers, introducing it to them. If only in 2018 we knew what was waiting for us, I'm sure we would have fared very different. And so, 2020, the new norm started. We were fortunate because we have created parent WhatsApp groups already before it started. We started to use Google Forms for our own administrative purposes. We even experimented with Google Form question papers that we've sent to the parents during lockdown. So this is the question paper. Here's a Google Form of the question paper. Let the child continue doing it. For all our grades, Vanessa. For all our grades. And we'd love to share that with anybody because there's no intelligent information that we share. Teachers appointed at our school, they know, don't come here with this and that. And one of the criteria is, oh yes, you know you need to be able and willing to use WhatsApp and to share your number with your parents and to make sure you know that your parents are going to contact you 10 o'clock at night. But to create that space in the minds around it so that this doesn't become a stumbling block when you are employed here. So there is no further discussion on that matter. Imagine I don't have WhatsApp, I don't have data, then you don't have a post. You don't laugh. All parent letters became digital. And where did I copy this from? From Mr. Steiner when he was sending to the principals. But this is a great idea. He's inserting links. Why didn't I think about it? Shall I insert pictures and videos? And now I want to tell you the story. Make the sums here. 2,000 copies per week. 8,000 sheets of paper. 8,000 sheets of paper per month. 14 months. 112,000 copies of paper, equivalent to 224 rolls of paper. And for the last 9 months since lockdown, it would have cost us 35,840 rand. But we didn't do that because we went digital. Amazing saving. And here I'm thinking, a few years ago, from the 1,200 learners, only 30 parents subscribe to D6. Today, we've got 1,718 learners, and our record shows there's only 17 parents that don't use WhatsApp. All of them are here on WhatsApp groups, chatting to the teachers. Obviously, we have one-way communication. But in all my parents' absence, I think you, the children, give your parents a round of applause. You must go home today. You must go home today. I see Andrea moving there. You must go home today and tell them how super proud we are of them. Andrea, I see you nodding your head. You want to come here? Andrea is supposed to have one teacher at our school, Ms. Philander. She is responsible for part of staff development and specifically to the IQMS process. And then she's also ensuring our staff minutes are typed and updated every time so the records are there. And also shadowing one of my deputy principals in curriculum management. Ms. Nangor is here. Chair is empty. I know why she is not here. She made her way in. No, not yet, because she's currently busy with some administrative matters. And why not? Because we've got people here to stand in our next generations of new principals. I'll give Andrea a round of applause for it. I also want to say something.
Good morning to our guests and all colleagues. I would just like to share with you or latch onto what Mr. Alice has been speaking about regarding digitalization. Access to Wi-Fi and the impact it will have on curriculum delivery as follows. At Basic Primary, we were able to create Google Drive, which has made curriculum administration more efficient and organized. Educators can upload and have access to the following: lesson planning, access to resources, access to all curriculum policies, subject policies, as well as assessment policies, access to previous assessments, our SBST forms and reports, our term schedules, as well as learner testimonials. Teachers are able to collaborate within the Google Drive. Teachers can pre-record lessons and present these lessons to more learners at the same time. And as Mr. Alice has mentioned, we implemented this during COVID and it worked quite well, where we could set up test activities and send to parents, and learners could obviously do homework and complete and ask questions via WhatsApp. Teachers are working with Google Classroom, and learners can focus more on lesson content by downloading pre-recorded lessons. And we had a few of our educators, especially in the foundation phase, who recorded lessons on specific topics, and kids could obviously go back to those lessons with rewind the section which they didn't understand, and which is obviously convenient to them. Using Wi-Fi to integrate YouTube videos and various lessons that can help with the development of skills and the understanding of new concepts, especially learners who are academically challenged. This allows for differentiation to accommodate learners with various learning abilities. It also helps to expose our learners and probe their interest in a possible career for the future and introduction to teaching and learning of the ICT. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Leonard. Another message to Mrs. Peterson. There's a new Deputy Director for Curriculum on the block. Thank you very much. I just asked her this morning if she can just do a short presentation for us. I appreciate it. Effort, Andrea. PJ, I see you here now, listening to Andrea all the time. I'm always with PJ or the JP, and I realize it cannot be JP. I have just realized that the next conference for the district can be done here at West End, because we've got all the infrastructure. The right cameras here, and it's free, and you agree? And it's faster, it's the fastest. Thank you very much. Okay. 2021 started with a big bang. Thank you, SGB, for approving the Wi-Fi. Thank you to the gentleman sitting over here. I told him, listen, keep me down here. This last year, 2 years ago, it was 170,000. Now it came down to 150,000, but it's even better. For the same infrastructure that this governing body invested into bringing Wi-Fi to each and every classroom. Unfortunate government will spend 1 million rand for the same resources per school. Something for us to ponder about, and we need to open up conversation in terms of procurement and processes, because money can be directed directly to schools that can manage it accountably. We've been doing that with many other projects. And if the schools save, government saves, my children wins, our community wins. Yeah? And I'm not standing here to say that we must isolate small business or business partners, not at all. Please, that is not what I'm saying. I'm saying we can bring costs down to bring and spend more on having more for the same amount of money. Our classrooms, each and every classroom now all of a sudden has become a computer room. So we don't want and we have to feel schools must never ever get desktops ready. Give them laptops or notepads, because it can be safely stored and it can be taken to each and any other classroom. So the designated space mindset that a computer room is there, but only it don't have to be. Wi-Fi is everywhere, computer room can be here. Isn't this where we have done the late registrations of, was it 2,000 learners here at Western? So this area became a computer room. So we will pursue that, and that is why Nashua is here, to understand the needs of our school and the community, is that we need the laptops for our children. And it must be something that we can talk about, solutions to find, to make sure we bring that access to them. We've used our old staff room and turned that actually into a computer room so that we have that space as well. It's bigger and it will be taken more learners. Can also now be used to train the community through Nelson Network. Because this has now all of a sudden become our staff room to ensure social distance. Our YouTube channel is up and running.
And Burgess will be teaching 42 sounds to learners, and that is how introduction to Johnny Phonics methodology, and Burgess will be teaching 42 sounds to the learners, and that is how we will be starting with on learning to read and write. To get started, we will download the Johnny Phonics app. We will go to Google Play Store and we will type in Johnny Phonics lesson app. We click on it and then there's a little mouse with a graduation hat on there. You click on that one and it will install, and when you open it, and the first thing you will see here in this app is sounds, lessons, games, tests and resources.
Thank you. Johnny Phonics actually phoned us. They fell in love with what we do. They're using that now on their own website to market the product. So thank you, teachers, at this time for what you guys are putting in making this happen. to our learners and to our community. A few years ago, we've already spoken to Ms. Karen Dudley. But how can we get onto a project? We love projects. How can we get onto a project? And we were reading about coding. And she said, okay, you guys will become one of the first primary schools. And people are going to think that I am biased because I was a teacher here in the school. So if you find Ms. Dudley somewhere, colleagues, please tell her I still got some of the unmarked scripts here. Yeah, I'm only joking. Don't just laughing with me. Ooh, I'm going to be in trouble. But I know that my colleagues have informed me that Mr. Fries is taking, Jonathan Fries is taking up that conversation with my science department at the school to make sure we can continue that. Social distancing, no contact sport. You must look at my face. But now, what great opportunity. We are doing e-games now. You know what e-games are? Yes. We're playing games against somebody else online. And the children actually pay and into each to play against the teachers. So it's an opportunity that becomes fundraising, and we get to invest into those resources. And we stay away from the violent games and keep it more into sport games. You see, this is the reason why a school that can only create 180 grade R learners must every year receive 550 learners applications. It's the parents tell me with no uncertainty, my child will be at Western Primary School. And this reason. And I respect them. I want all of them to have their children here. The Two Oceans Graduate Institute has also partnership with Western Primary. And Western Primary will become the first school in South Africa that will present online lessons for teaching practice purposes. Teachers who are abroad, most of them are South Africans, many of them are South Africans in Asian countries, are doing their teaching qualification through their institute, must do teaching practice. And this teaching practice will become online, live streamed here from our classrooms. So we're looking forward to that as well. I cannot help to think, do we all know the IA robot Sophia? Now a citizen of Saudi Arabia? Why can't West? It is to be brave to change the working culture here at Western Primary School. It is to transform our community and add value to these people that we are serving. It is to realize that we must invest in the enhancement of the skills, the values, the knowledge of our staff, and to upgrade resources and use resources applications to become more productive. It is to create the opportunities for my learners, for our learner, to give them a competitive edge. And more importantly, it is to do it for my learners. This is why we are partnering today with Nurture Network to bring skills to our community. Skills such as basic computer literacy skills, creating Google Forms, using Google Cloud, effective use of emails. We assume people know this, they're going to need these new skills to find new jobs. In a world where everything is connected, where everything is equally excellent, where performance is reaching perfection, there is only one space left to innovate in. And that space is in you in me, in us. We are at the central point of the raging tornado that is fueled by digitation. Thank you to each and every one of you for your unwavering support to our school, especially to Western Primary School. And in introducing our next speaker, our leader, none other than the Director of Metro South Education District, Mr. Graham Sender. I want you to please give him a round of applause and give yourself a round of applause. Thank you very much. Everybody, all protocols observed. Special thanks to Mr. Aris and to Western Primary, to Colleen, and to everybody involved in this wonderful occasion today. Mr. Aris, you forced me to rethink my speech now. Because in a way, you know, all the things that you said is exactly true. Mr. Aris always and ever the opportunist would say all the right things to all the right people. He spoke about the conference that must be held here. He seduced all the partners here a little bit more, so we invest a bit more in Western Primary School, and that, in my view, is the mark of visionary leader, and one who understands what the way forward is in education, but more importantly, for our country. The fourth industrial revolution will make Metro South be ready for jobs for the future. And that's the big question that we must ask, because I think our big challenge in society today, in our communities, in our country, is not crime, it is not unhappy citizens, it is not all of those things. Our biggest enemy that we all have to face on a day-to-day basis is poverty. Poverty is the big enemy. Unemployment is the big enemy. And I think now is a very opportune time to consider this particular challenge, given that we are in the situation where COVID-19 forces us to think our old normal and to start to create a future normal, or rethink how we deal with education going forward. And I think that's the big point that resonates from what you have said. Technology analysts predict that by 2026, digital technologies could unlock around 1.4 trillion rand of value in South Africa across agriculture, infrastructure, manufacturing, and financial services. I think if we study the World Economics Future Jobs Report, it clearly, and I've been pushing this in all our principals meetings, to point out what the redundant roles are going to be in the workplace, what the roles that we've already retained, but what future roles are going to be. In other words, what one of our young speakers referred to in the introduction, that we are preparing learners for jobs that do not yet exist. And so that presents us, colleagues, in education with a particular but exciting challenge. How do we rise to that occasion? To compete globally, South Africa will first need to foster an economy that empowers its citizens with the necessary future-fit skills. So grade 7, this is for you. And the point I'm making is that the future is bright and beautiful for you. And the demand on you is for you to take with both hands all the opportunities. In particular, you are particularly fortunate in this particular school because you've got a leader who is visionary enough to realize that and to create the environment for you to succeed. How we respond to the future of work largely depends on how we prepare today. With 4IR bringing about a skills shortage, upskilling, or in some cases reskilling, will be essential to keep up with the rate of change. And I think this is a joint responsibility of learning that must ensure that businesses and education all team together to attack this particular challenge. So it means, and I think this is I pointed out very rightly, that a key success driver for that is reskilling and upskilling our teachers first. Because we can't have a fleet of new cars, but we don't have the driver's license to drive that car. And so part of qualifying our teachers to be able to teach this next generation of hungry minds and to give them future fit and future appropriate skills will be to start by upskilling our teachers in new thinking, new pedagogies, new content knowledge, new subjects that we know. And you have heard West End is one of the pilot schools for robotics and coding. But that's just one or two of the skills that 4IR implies in terms of change for the future. We have the responsibility to mobilize our current learners and community members to reskill themselves with future appropriate technology. Ensuring that the Mitchells Plain or the Metro South or South Africa's workforce will be ready for the future of work will likely require a combination of effort, like I said already, of various stakeholders. Cross-sectoral partnerships will be key to effective digital skills creation. In Metro South, as you know, we have identified the need to see new thinking in our schools. Our focus in the immediate future must be to advance the technological capacity and capabilities of our schools. So we have, in one way or another, focused on making sure that there is connectivity in our schools, and to a large extent, if we can't meet that demand via the conventional forms, then we must partner with business and say, how can you come in and help us with connectivity? One of those initiatives was we've shared the opportunity that Wuppertal has presented, and I'm very pleased to share that in one of the circuit meetings last week, reflecting on, and I asked him, tell me that offer that Wuppertal made, has any of the principals taken up that offer? And a few of them said, yes, we have, and we can report that it's working well. So the key to getting our learners ready for the future is first of all to ensure that the technological infrastructure exists, that we've got connectivity. Wonderful to hear that West End Primary has ensured that they don't only have connectivity, but they've extended their network to ensure that Wi-Fi reaches all classrooms. That's fantastic. And so that's the kind of thing that we must ensure in all our schools. Ensuring good connectivity at every school is key, as I've already indicated. Building the second key lever of success for this to happen is, as I've already indicated, building the capacity of our teachers in this is critical. Making this a focus for both the district and school-based professional development initiatives is critical. Every school, even if the network, even if the infrastructure is not there, must be focusing on professional development, equipping teachers with new thinking around e-learning, around blended learning approaches. I wondered why you asked me to do the keynote address this day. I'm looking at all the key people here. We've got the e-learning unit, we've got a strong contingency of curriculum people. And but maybe it must cut both ways. Maybe it's an important conversation that we must have as a collective. During tough economic times, And I'm so pleased that the chairperson of the governing body is also here representing parents. During tough economic times, we need parents and communities to develop a sense of ownership of the school as a community asset. Very sadly, I'm getting more and more reports, emails from principals directed more towards infrastructure and to e-learning directors, complaining about the fact that their school has just been victim to vandalism and theft. And what are the vandals and the thieves going for? They're trying to get into the computer room. They're going for cables, copper cables. They're going for all of those kinds of things for a quick penny. But this, unfortunately, is robbing our children of the prospect of a better future. And so we as a community and a school community, as it is here at West End, we need to rally together to protect the assets. I'm not calling for vigilantism. I'm saying that we must have target hardening strategies that really calls for a sense of collaboration with our school communities to ensure that we prevent this. Our children's futures are being stolen from them at an alarming rate at this point in time. And so it's important that our parents buy into the vision of the school and that they support in that kind of way. We need new role models for our youth. We need new young role models for our youth. We need our youth and the youth of Mitchell's Plain, the youth of Parkwood, the youth of Manenberg, the youth of any community to start representing a new image as role models for children. Those involved in technology, those involved in robotics, those who are flying the flag high in terms of presenting a different image for the digital future. So that we can turn things around. The opportunities are there. The President also speaks of entrepreneurship. And he says we need entrepreneurs, and the first thing that comes to mind is we think of, entrepreneurship is arts and crafts and making things on the side of the road and people, developing a sustainable life. No, Elon Musk is an entrepreneur. That's the level of entrepreneurial thinking we need. And so we must even broaden this definition of entrepreneurial thinking. And each and every child sitting here must redirect and recalibrate and reboot their ambitions to say that yes, I want to gain a future in whatever it is. I want to go and do a degree at a high institution. But also, quote, as part of our thinking in education is the 3-stream model, where we start looking at other avenues. And there's opportunity for innovation to happen in those spaces. Technical and vocational skills. Entrepreneurs can come out of that. Technology and 4IR, the 4th industrial revolution, is preceded by the 3rd industrial revolution, which was technology. The 4th industrial revolution is an infusion of artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, and all of those kinds of things. And so the opportunities are not formalized. Those opportunities can exist. I want to use the word grade 7, the big word ubiquitous. In other words, anywhere, any place, anyhow. Access to technology is all around us. It's anywhere, any place, anyhow. And so the opportunity for you is great. And the opportunity for you, grade 7s in particular, given what I know today, given what's in place at this school, given the partnerships that are being developed in your interest, is wonderful. I want to thank you also, Mr. Alice. I want to wish you well for this venture with Nurture Network. I think it's great. And I think it's also great that out of this project, there will be something in it for the community as well. That there will be something in it for young, unemployed youth. The opportunity to create
a new future for themselves. And so that is something that I think really must be applauded. So well done to West End Primary School, well done on this partnership, but there's a lot of work still to be done to replicate this kind of thinking going forward. And the opportunities, as I said, are great in terms of the future. The future is certainly bright for our young people. The future is certainly bright for West End Primary School. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Steiner, for those words of inspiration to us as well, especially to our learners. Just to mention what Mr. Ari said earlier on, he mentioned something about digital native, digital immigrant. Sorry. I'm taking you people, I'm going to take you way, way back. When the clans, people that have more or less the same amount of grey hair that I have, when we started off with that old typewriter, remember? With the blue stencil and the pink tickets. And you have to do your question papers and go back and you have to have a pen and cannot write. Now, we are digital immigrants, so we started with that. It is, I must say, it's a daunting task to keep abreast of things and to keep pace with technology and the way it's going. I'm going to introduce you to the next speaker. Now, the reason we are here is because of this person. This person started, I was surprised, I didn't know. She started a schooling career at West End Primary. If you have any doubts, Mr. Lodi, can you just show us photograph, please? Her high school was relatively high. And she believes in uplifting others by making a difference daily. The tertiary institution she completed at UWC and then she further completed at Northgate University. Her qualifications, she has been educated for 23 years, a lecturer, a facilitator, education monitor in technical vocational education and training institution as an education specialist. She specialized in e-learning, multimedia innovation in education. She completed an honors degree in education management, law systems, and curriculum studies. She did a master's degree in community health and sports science. She conducted research in children schools towards a PhD in philosophy with the graduation in September 2021, and we will soon be calling her doctor. This person is transforming lives of learners, educators, and the communities through the power of innovation, technology, creating awareness through the fourth industrial revolution. Put our hands together for none other than Colin Burgess.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. And my presentation will not only be for our honored guests, but it will also be for the students. And if you listen very, very closely, and I ask some questions at the end, there's a big surprise for you. So, are you ready, students? Yeah. So, honored guests, Director, Mr. Aris, all protocol observed, we're ready to start. Nurture Network, I am the founder of Nurture Network on Gazette. It was founded in 2021, but it has been coming on for many years. Because for years I've been doing community activities here at West End, doing my research, but also giving back to the community. But you know, in groups here and sometimes activities there, and I think with Nurture Network I can bring all these activities under one umbrella, and that is what it is about. So my aim is to uplift others, because I feel if you win, then I win as well. And there's many people, because I was teaching in this community, there's many people that always contact me, Miss, come to help with this, even my ex-learners, and this is how I help, by making sure that we register people on the same spot, on the database, and so that we can give the advice, but also for the youth and how they can progress in the future. So with any further ado, let's start. Nurture Network. If we look at the goals and we look at what it is that we are going to discuss here today, and you will see there that our goals is we are going to discuss what the aim of Nurture Network is, or the goal, and then we are going to make sure that we are discussing the services. We will discuss the competition, which is for the learners, and that is very exciting for you and what will be to come. And then we will show you some demonstrations, and we will do that with videos. So let's start off with the goal of Nurture Network. Now, our goal is to transform the lives of learners as well as educators and the communities through the power of innovation, technology, creating awareness to the 14th Industrial Revolution, as well as careers of the future. And that is something that our guests have touched on, that our speeches have touched on as well. And it's so hard, we never discussed anything, but Mr. Aris mentioned it, and Mr. Sander mentioned it as well as the students. So, if we look at what the logo is for Nurture Network, it is we can. So let me hear you say that. We can. Everybody? We can. Because we can make a change if we do it together. And that is what I have learned when I come to West End Primary. This is where things happen, and if I start something here and I want something to work, it always starts at West End, and that is how we will spread the word out there. So if we continue, what we say and what has been mentioned is that we have students who are digital natives. And as digital natives, we know there's certain services that Nurture Network has to offer. And our services are, we will be making sure that there is exhibitions, there are open days, there are virtual open days as well, so online as well as face-to-face. We will make sure there are webinars, we live stream as well. Then we have a tutor portal that will be going up where, and everything we plan to do will be for free. Because as Sir said, the enemy is poverty. And we can't be, if we're charging, that is already where we are limiting people. So we're trying to make as far as possible, everything will be free. We will make sure that we engage and we are aware of learner management systems, that there is awareness to the 4th Industrial Revolution, like we are doing today. We will introduce you to the skills of the future and careers of the future, entrepreneurship, and we will make sure that there are certain training solutions. Now those training solutions, we have had the blueprint done here at West End Primary with the staff. And can you believe it, up until 10 o'clock last night, now staff had tasks that they did as part of our online self-study training that we started. And they are sending their work, and where I'm wondering, did they really need training? The way the work is looking, the professionalism, the excitement, the energy, and that is what you find here. The quality that the staff produce is a reflection on the institution as well as on the principal. So thank you for that, Mr. Aris. So we move forward and we say that why are we doing it at Nurture Network? We're doing it because our students are digital natives. They are born. If we look at the next slide, you'll see they are born with a cell phone in the hand, and they are born with the capacity to understand things that we cannot. So if I show you who I met over the weekend, I met Skylar, and the digital native sitting there at the back will say, "What is that, miss?" That is Skylar. Skylar is, and you're going to watch the video soon. Skylar is a digital native and Skylar is at Hotel Sky. And Skylar has taken over the reception desk. No more going and paying. No more speaking to the person there, but Skylar is the first person you meet. So let's see what Skylar has to say.
That's a great idea. You need some space to spread the road.
Now look at that. I was so excited. I think people were staring at me, what's this woman's problem? Because Skylar takes selfies with the guests. Then you can ask Skylar anything about what's happening in the hotel. And then the computer will tell you what it is, the information that you need to know. Now, as you are sitting here, you can go and meet the robot in person. It is a marketing tool for the hotel. You can see they're not advertising anything. The people are coming to them. You can go, there's actually a queue happening there. So you must go very early. It is at Sky Hotel, it's right opposite the CICC in Cape Town. And there you write your name in the book. There's no pens. Everything is digital. Just like you experienced when the guests entered West End this morning. They didn't fill in anything, but they received a message where they are filling in their COVID, their results, and they can fill in that they have no symptoms. So West End is applying exactly what Nurture Network has been teaching and doing. We are doing Google Forms, we've done training with the staff, and they are actually applying it. And Skylar is one of the ideas how students in future will have to be cognitively flexible, have to learn digital technologies. You must know digital literacy. You need to know some of these keywords that Mr. Arends have been hanging. He put it there for us in the area. You must know judgment and decisions and emotional and social intelligence, as well as being creative and having a creative mindset. That is one of the skills that you must have. And you know what? We had to practice that for the first time during lockdown, when all things stopped and we still had to make contact with the students. Like Mr. Ari said, that is when everybody had to start using their creative minds in order to reach. Lucky for this school, they were in contact with the students. So, if we move forward, we will see that Skylar is also answering questions. Let's watch that video.
Skylar, how many floors in the hotel?
We have 29 floors.
How much does it cost? What is the price?
We did the hotel open. Sorry, what was that?
When did the hotel open?
The hotel opened the 1st of April 2021.
So you will see, Skylar will reply to a clear command. And if you don't speak clearly, Skylar will tell you, I'm sorry, that is not clear. So you can't come with slang and talking like you want to and speaking English and Afrikaans. No, you just say what you need to say and Skylar will answer. Never a day off, never in a bad mood or mode, always there, always on time. But you know what I noticed? Even though Skylar was there was still friendly staff that was assisting the clients. It doesn't mean that there must be a fear for technology. And that is what we try and put out there. That we must embrace, like Mr. Ari said, we must move forward and embrace that this is the way forward. And we don't want to be left behind. We now mean the staff and our students is way ahead of us. Therefore, we want to move forward with the students into the future. Now, if we move forward, that is what we mean. that you were born with that cell phone in the hand. Digital technologies are all around us. And we know that our students are able to figure something out on their own as well. Therefore, we need to make sure that this person who was brought up during the age of digital technology and they are familiar with computers and mobile devices and the internet from an early age, we must make sure that they are supported. Also, our learners have various learning styles. So by incorporating these digital tools into our lessons, this will help everybody and help the learner as well. Now that is why, as we've mentioned, the importance of the 14th Industrial Revolution, it actually brings all of these technologies together. You will see the drone technology, it's already here. If you look at sport, you're already using your Fitbit. It's already tracking where you are, your location, how fast you are running, how you deep in your race. It's all done with one watch. And we know, for example, that there's already in the production of certain manufacturing items, it's already being done where certain mechanics are being used in tools. So that is why the Industrial Revolution is very, very important, especially the 4th Industrial Revolution. But here at West End, this is the exciting part, and I'm going to call the twins to the front now. They are hiding at the back. We want them to walk forward. They are already 2 students, and they have entered the Nurture Network competition in partnership. Now, ladies and gents, they might be introverts, but they are ready to take the world by storm with the help of Mr. Kenneth. Mr. Kenneth is their educator, but their father helped him. So it's important that whatever our youth is involved in, and whoever has an initiative in the community, that it's supported not only by the school but by the parents as well. I had an idea. The first person I told was Mr. Aris in 2020. It was just an idea. I put it on paper. I took my idea to Mr. Dion Khan and Annalisa. They didn't say no. They listened to me. They put everything down and listened to me. Mr. Kenneth, their father, listened to them, and this is what they came up with. And it's part of the Nurture Network competition, developing and designing a robot using recycled materials. Let's show us. What does your robot do? Look at how the cameras. Can you see? But if that robot is put down, you must all get up. Because the robot is going to go all over the place. We will show now. And they also made a little house and they connected the electricity. Wow. So from our side, just for the initiative they've taken, we have one of our industry partners that wanted to give a small token, and they are getting gifts from NPA today to say well done for what you've done. And we are very, very proud. They are the first contestants. They will still go into the competition. But this is the way, this is what we want to inspire. And there might be a student sitting there that's thinking, that's an angry bot, I can do something different. Yeah. So, that is what we want to make it exciting. Now on the 2nd of August, we will have the closing date. They will send a 2-minute video to Nurture Network. They will register on the site, and then they will be judged on the 28th of August, and we will use some of the representatives at this panel of our guests that are here. We will use some of our industry partners, and we will ask that we have some of everybody represented, and we will have that event right here at West End. Now we are going to see what other examples there are of robots that can be made. An Oddbot. A Bumperbot. A Jumpbot. Dancing bot. Line following bot. Bristle bot. Motion activation bot. Teachers might use this in your class maybe. Right backing bot. Brush bot. Right following bot. There we go. Let's do an indicator, Mr. Kenneth, and they have a sensor. That's Mr. Kenneth, and he was the one that was facilitating this project. But he's also the one that is busy with a project where he's using chess and coding and mathematics and bringing it all together. And that's why he will be one of Nurture Network's. In the next slide you will see, he will be one of Nurture Network's advisors. So in the next slide you'll see how he uses coding. And using maths. And in that way, Mr. Kenneth is very passionate about that, but there's others at West End, and I believe at every school you will find that as well. So we need to bring all of our staff together with the students, and in this way we can take it forward. Now here is the boys introducing themselves. Let's hear the video.
Yesterday, West End Primary School. Here were two students exciting Isaac for us. And what's your name? And they are twins, and with the help of a teacher, Sabina, they were able to design and develop two projects, 4 IR and robotic projects that they were using recycled material. So what's that project for? So you could work on anything and it was good to see anything, so that's why they should. So with electricity we make it, but this is the project that we're focusing on. Live nice and high. Show us what that's good.
Right, and now they're going to show the project.
Yes, they West End Primary School. And there were two students exciting Isaac for us. And what's your name? And they are twins, and with the help of a teacher, Sabina, they were able to design and develop two projects, 4 IR and robotic projects that they were using recycled material. So what's that project for?
Very anxious to see their project. Right after this video, and the whole class was involved.
This is the project that we're focusing on. Look nice and high. Show us your nice you know what we can do with the network and where we sit proudly. We are going to introduce your project to everyone. And thank you so much for joining the project. Okay, so we're looking forward to showing everyone why we did the project. Welcome, please.
There we go.
Okay, dance. Okay, Masorat. Dimat. Sendiri Alibot. Showcase, Wasteland Primary 2021, Mr. Clemens Claus, Grade 4C.
Well done. So, the screen you see now, that is Nurture Network's website. Now the grade 7s, when you leave the venue, you will be getting a letter, and that is how you will register. The letter will go to your parents who will assist you to register. But who of you have a cell phone? Let's see, grade 7s. So do you think you can register on your own? It is just a Google form. Now remember I said we're going to be asking little questions, right? That will come after we watch everything. So that is how you register. You click on the second red button and you will register. Now we are going over to the last part of all the presentations. We have met one of our, almost like a friend of Nurture Network. They are called the Stimulator. And I think the director mentioned what is the way forward for education. And the Stimulator and the group of engineers under the leadership of Mr. Grunensen, he has developed the STEM Stimulator. And you will be able to see how he's taking the curriculum of various levels and how they have computerized this into a gaming format so that a student could literally click on a button and then the whole human body can be viewed, and also the inside of the body. For example, various industries are discussed, transport, manufacturing, and the skills of the future is mentioned. So when this is done, that would be the end of the presentations. And we say thank you to Richard and the team who made this recording especially for us. And we will be back right after. Thank you.
Good morning, colleagues. The West End primary staff and learners, representatives from the various education departments. Really is a pleasure and an honour to have this opportunity to introduce you to something brand new, a South African initiative designed to stimulate kids with an interest in science and technology through an e-learning environment. I'm going to take you through a quick presentation, and then the majority will be a demonstration of the stimulator itself. STEM in our world means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We want to stimulate the next generation. Today, I'm faced with all sorts of difficult choices. These are all being, what do I want to be? Historically, they are visual stimulants, books, TV programs, museums. Physical stimulants in the terms of Lego, Meccano sets, taking things to pieces, homemade go-karts. It was at a practical level, not very high tech. And then the school elements were also, school experiments were also fairly simple and straightforward. The models used to be our neighbours, relatives, firemen, policemen, doctors. So who are today's heroes? What do youngsters aspire to be? Managers, entrepreneurs, seen as routes to wealth, but possibly not satisfaction. You have to have a dream, then you can become an entrepreneur. Modern advances as well are in extreme domains, either ultra micro or ultra macro, both in size and in time scale. Stimulants, we have more time, books less time, TV programs are much better, improved quality. In the physical stimulants, we have less time. Lego, move on to technical, it's more sophisticated and expensive. Taking things to pieces is not quite so easy these days. Homemade, I'm not sure what kids are making at home these days. And school experiments have been boosted by boot camps and SciFest and Olympia. Now that we live in an urban world, very impersonal, we seem to have a very few extreme examples of the super successful people. And then came the internet with a wealth of content. We're positively drowning in the content. So where do you start? With social media, also very noisy, all platforms trying to be everything. Many have lost sight of their primary purpose or role, and also distorted now by commercial and marketing spin-offs. So, welcome to the Stimulator. This is free to all. It's online, stimulator.org. As I said, proudly South African. A virtual world and exploratory, full of animated, visual content, very low on text. Its purpose is to attract youngsters into the world of STEM, and is assembled by the NSTF, the National Science and Technology Forum, which includes the professional science, engineering and technology world, scientific societies of South Africa. To stimulate and satisfy a curiosity in the STEM world, before youngsters make regrettable, irreversible subject choices, we provide guidance on STEM careers, university courses. It is curated, it's compact, and we're basically providing selected appetizers. There are many hyperlinks inside the Stimulator that take you outside into the wider internet for the detailed content. We also make a standalone version for use in remote areas, and these are distributed on memory sticks. And this is last year's campaign. We have a crowd called Mazalo Careers who work with us, and they take these around to schools on careers days. So, without further ado, let me take you to the Stimulator and give you a taste of what we have. So here she is, Virtual Wonderland. And the whole idea is kids can explore, they can discover, and they can learn to feel the hidden world. In a plane flying overhead, for many of the people in the rural areas, it's a wow factor. We move the mystery. We actually bring the plane to you. We take it to pieces. We show you how the wings work. We show you how you get lift. How this everything can fly. Showing you inside the cabin, and we show you the testing that's done to prove these things are strong enough. Go into the cockpit, which not even you and I can do these days. We show you the controls on the dashboard. We show you the parts of the plane which the pilot controls. Closer to home, we can take you to the motor car, and we can show you all the way around the motor car. Everything explodes to reveal the inner workings. We give you a picture of what happens inside the engine. A diagram labeling all the parts of the engine. We have a photograph of the real thing. And for those who say, okay, so Mr. Stimulator, mathematics, STEM, mathematics, how do you handle mathematics? So on the pages we have an icon, and behind there we will put something on the page which is related to the content. This one works out the volume of a cylinder for the piston in the engine and the compression ratio, etc. And we have the exhaust system. We show you all the components in the exhaust, and we show you the turbo and the engine injection system. Again, we have some mathematical content here. This time to do with the catalytic converter and the chemistry that goes on inside there. Closer to home, we take you inside your house. We show you the wiring embedded inside in the walls and in the roof. We can show you the plumbing that's lying also in the walls. We can show you the drainage system. We can even show you solar water heaters and solar PV panels. This is just a very quick flash through just to give you a taste of what's out there. But the human being, I'm not sure we want to see inside here, but here is a description of all the muscles making up the human body, and description of how they're built, and we have all the bones making up the skeleton, all labelled and diagrammed, and there's a section through the bones. Yes, and of course then we have the heart, the human heart. Again, showing you what goes on inside the heart, how it pumps the blood, and then the route of the blood takes around the body. So, in the old days, kids would have books, possibly, they would thumb through them. We're hoping now, in this new online world, people will be attracted to something a little bit more animated, and a bit more exciting, a bit nice feel to it. And I have a little story about a thing I saw, which is a machine for harvesting olives. And I tried to find it one day to show somebody. And it dawned on me that the best way we can do it is, we say, well, if it's to do with olives and farms, we go to the farm, we go to the orchard, and in the orchard we find this olives there. And bingo, there we find this machine that actually harvests olives. So this machine apparently grabs the tree by the throat and shakes it, and all the olives end up in the upside down umbrella. Let's have a world of insects here. Show you aspects of insects. Sure. I'm sorry, this is just an appetizer, just a quick demonstration to show you what we have in here. So we have a school in the middle, and the plan is to include the curriculum in here. And when we start talking about global warming, we'll take it over to the weather tile, and we'll introduce you to what happens on the weather system. We'll show you evaporation, we'll show you the stratosphere, and we'll show you what's happening with the change in the atmosphere. Green energy you want, we'll take to the energy tile, and we'll show you wind turbines. And we'll show you some PV panels, solar fuels. And for every one of these, we're also offering advice on careers. Back at the car again. You see down the bottom here we have mechanical engineer. If you click on the mechanical engineer, you'll get a description of the mechanical engineer, also an indication of the places where you can study. And these hyperlinks are active, and they will take you through to the relevant page for the various institutions. So now back at the car page. Let me also show you within the car mechanic world, also show you to the vocation and training colleges that exist in the country. I hope that gives you a good idea of what the simulator is about. Unfortunately, time is very short, and I appreciate the opportunity, and I'm very happy to take questions. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We are about to unwind, but before we unwind, I'm just going to call on Connie, and she's just going to do a vocal thing. Thank you, Connie.
So I promised the grade 7s, and I see the feet kicking there. I promised the grade 7s. So if you know the answer, you put your hand up, and my team will bring the gift to you right there at your seat, and at the end we'll take a photo with all the groups. How many gifts do we still have left, Michelle? 6. So here we go. What is the name of our organization, of my organization? No, Mr. Aris, no. No, ma'am, no. I have a hand there. You can stand and say. Let's give a hand. You already a winner? Number 2. What was the name what was the name of the last presentation? What is that name? That's a bit more difficult. Stand and say. Stimulator. Well done. Right, can you tell me what was the means of transport that was mentioned in the stimulator presentation? The means of transport, they showed two things to start off with. I see one hand in the center. That's right, that's right. And the second one? Did you mention both? Okay. So we have 3 left. Can you tell me where it is that you will find the information for Nurture Network? Where can you find our information? That's right, that's correct. It's not going to be further. You must stand, winner, you are a winner. Right. And can you tell us what revolution were they talking about in all the presentations? I can't hear. That's not correct. The 4th Industrial Revolution is 2, 4, 5. And then there's one last one to go. Now I told the group, there's one person that I've been watching through the time I've been here at West End and the time that I was busy preparing for this event. It's someone with energy, man. It is the lead singer of the choir. Where is she? I haven't missed her. That is the last winner. That what is her name? That is the last winner. So we want to give her. Let's give all our winners a round of applause. So you mustn't leave. We will take a pic with you. Let's go over to the vote of thanks. I think first of all, I want to say thank you very much to Mr. Aris for the support and guidance and availing the school, the facilities, the expertise of the West End staff. To me, I am forever grateful, sir. And I don't think that even while I was studying, I could come to the school. This was the school where I did my research. This is the school where I know I can get support. And that is how we can take things forward in the community. By having these key people in the community that we can link up with. Then, Mr. Simon, thank you very much. We are honored to have the director as our keynote speaker and for the eloquent manner in which the speech was communicated, sir. Just for your spirit and just for the support. And I think Mr. Khan sent my proposal and just for the acceptance and just to be able to present to you today is really, really grateful, sir. To the choir, Mr. Boyson and the team, what a pleasure that we were all graced with song and the spread of your positive energy. And I want to give that gift to the leader because I think her energy is so contagious to everybody around you. The prefects who are sitting now in the team there, we are very grateful for your kind help, and I see your school must be very proud of just the way and the manner that you are uplifting the other students and how kind you are to others, even though you are in a position of leadership, because that's very important to me. Then Mr. Khan and Annalisa Msolo, we are grateful to you just for your kindness and for your friendliness and so patient to listen to me as I laid my plan out painstakingly and asking me questions and Colin, don't you think this is a better way? And Colin, don't you think? And I listened and I updated my plan and thank you for that, sir. With that, we were also able to connect to PJ. Thank you, PJ, and also for the way that you were able to embrace this, and we will connect with you going further as well. So. Then Mr. Irons and the great coordinators and the staff at West End Primary School. This dynamic team, Mr. Aris, and their positive energy can make anything a success. They supported me, They advised me when my plan went too far. They just brought my balloon back to earth. They said, no, miss, no, miss. This won't work, miss, this will work. And then I listened to them because they know what they're talking about. Then Nurture Network was proud to be associated with the staff of West End Primary School. It was so awesome, even with the training, even with the planning, because with West End we could now develop a blueprint, and we were able to test what we plan to do and find out what the pitfalls are already and then update that when we go forward. Mr. Noordien, and I want everybody to look to the back. Out there in the sky is a gentleman, and I call him the Blue. He's hidden away there, but he plays such a key role. And Mr. Noordien, thank you for patiently assisting and guiding even during training. And Mr. Aris, I think you have an amazing team, but Mr. Noordien is the anchor. Then with Mr. Noordien, he wasn't alone. He has a sidekick. And that sidekick is Mr. Boyson here on the side as well. They work together and somehow they find a way to figure everything out together. Mr. Kenneth and the students, thank you very much. It was very exciting because they have such a good energy. Mr. Kenneth would give advice, but also give ideas for how we can improve. And that is what we want. We want the youth to help us out like that. Ms. Trim and the team who decorated the hall so wonderfully, we are very grateful. And this is what makes it all feel so special. A red carpet. I felt like it was the matric pool. And the beauty that is all around us, it makes everyone feel so special. And Ms. Trim's name is almost in line with the beauty that she's spreading. And she extended this, and she wants to share the beauty that she is feeling with all of us, and we can really see it. The refreshment team that we are going to experience now, thank you for all the special arrangements and the effort the school has taken in doing this. And we endeavor to plow back into the school with the events like you would see with the competition. Because that is how it must be, not only take but to give back where we can. Mr. Lambert and the team, a special note of thanks to Mr. Lambert and the team for the kind help through all of this. With everything that you see here, Mr. Lambert, and Mr. Lambert has the finer details in his pocket. So if you're doing something and you will just say, no miss, that's not the right way to do it. And then he will guide you. So it's again, Mr. Aris has people who's got his back. Especially thanks also to the frontline staff, the admin staff, for your kindness and always being there when we are here at the school. The Nurture Network staff, let's give them a hand. They're all around us here. The ladies, and especially Mr. Dion Gerling, that's sitting. Mr. Gerling is our family specialist, and he will be able to assist, and I would like to connect him as well with Mr. Kenneth and the West End team to see how we can take that forward. Our honored guests, the director, all the invitees, everybody, especially Fauziya as well from the Plainsman, we are very, very grateful for everybody and that you attended the event today. I hand over to the MC and the principal to close the event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Colin. Yes, at last we're done. We're going to unwind. Please feel free to mingle, to network. We don't see each other every day, so we are allowed to chat and catch up and, as I said, network. Colin, thank you very much, and also our guests, thank you very much for gracing us with your presence. For coming to West End Primary, we hope and trust you enjoy your stay and that you will further also enjoy what we have to offer. Mr. Aris, do you want to say something? Okay, thank you very much. Our learners, I must thank you. Well behaved. If I'm not mistaken, it was 2 hours we sat in this hall, but you know why I think they were well behaved? They were stimulated. It's one of those lessons that was almost interactive. Mr. Tofi and Mr. Safari, thank you very much. If they could just quietly leave the hall, and then I invite all of you just to go in that direction. Sure, some of you are thirsty, some of you are hungry, and enjoy what we have to offer. Thank you very much.